Today's story, what's today's story? All these stories, this little book I told you, they collected all the stories that I've said over the years. So this is from the very early years. These are the stories he said over the course of the years, 1954 and 55. So you have to understand that then, Lubavitch was very small and the Rebbe was educating them. Educating. Chassidim used to say, still say, that the Rebbe's leadership was kind of divided into decades. The first 10 years was father, tata, was that close on many levels. The next 10 years was teacher, Rebbe, the Rashi Sichas, and the Tafshir Chafei was that was the 60s. Every Shabbos was a Fabrengen. Then in the 70s, Melech, Malchus. And in the 80s, already started the whole Tkuf of Mashiach, etc. I'm just saying this is what we would say back then in the 80s when we Fabrengen together. But the fact is that it wasn't very close, and it was different in the early days, and the Rebbe was educating and cultivating and creating Chassidim, Shlichus, the whole mindset, which is a Herculean task. In post-Holocaust, Jews, just leave me alone, let me survive and be a nice little Fruma Yid. It's about conquering the world, and what's they were talking about? Anybody can do it. It took years and years and years till it got through that this is real and it's me and it's possible. If you read the Fabrengen, you can see and the letters you wrote and the resistance and the toil. Anyway, here's the story. So there's once a chassid. It's a story told at 1954 Fabrengen, Parshas Matas, Mamash this week, next week's Parsha, in a couple of weeks. So once it was a chassid that Tzemach Tzedek gave him, he says, an eitzah or a bracha. He became wealthy. And the chassid knew clearly, absolute certainty, that the wealth was because of this advice and bracha of the Tzemach Tzedek. So in grateful appreciation, he brought the Tzemach Tzedek a gift. And the gift was a sled, which was, the Rebbe says, was decorated or adorned with every possible hitter. So it was a very cutting edge and very, not just cutting edge, but to say, top of the line, not a kid sled, but the top of the line, which nobility would be led in.
So if someone were to bring like a fancy Mercedes.
Yeah, today would be a fancy, expensive car. A car that used by heads of state. So Tzemach Tzedek said to him, I don't need this. I give it to my son. And he said, which one? The youngest Rebbe Marash. And the story. So the Rebbe says, it's not understood, it would appear. So if it's something that is a luxury for the Tzemach Tzedek, so with Rebbe Marash, it is good. So having a luxury, if it's no good, it's no good. So the Rebbe answers, because there's different, like we're learning now, Chesed and Gvura, there's different conducts by tzaddikim. There's a conduct of tzimtzum, of constraint, and there's a conduct of rachmus, of expansion. And why would that be? Because that's what the generation needs. According to this, the matzav of the generation, that's the way the Rebbe is and relates. And since the Rebbe Marash, the next Rebbe, and his generation has to be expansive, therefore, he gave him instructed to give the sled to him. The Rebbe continues that the Rebbe Marash's conduct was with great expansion. His tobacco box was made of gold, and the fork and the other utensils are made of gold. And when he traveled also with white horses and an elaborate carriage. He would travel almost every year outside Russia, sometimes twice a year. So now he tells the story that once, he would go from Lubavitch to the train station. And the footnote tells us that they wanted to make a train station actually in Lubavitch. There should be a stop. that Marash did not want. He said, I am the balabas here. He didn't want. So he would go with his carriage to the train station, and they used to be that I would wait for him. So the conductor would wait. So once there was a new conductor, a new pocket, a new officer, who didn't know that you wait for the Rebbe Marash, and when he decides to come, I guess they was notified, and he gave the whistle, and the train goes on. So the Marash came, and he sees that the train left. So he took another train. Didn't say anything, took another train. But then the word came back sometime later that this new train conductor was relieved of his position. They've added, they don't know why they did it. They had whatever their reasons, but the emissaries. Why? Because why is there a train? Why is there anything in the world? It's all for the Rebbe, meaning all for Yiddishkeit symbolically. And if he's not going to cooperate and be useful for Yiddishkeit, then his whole existence isn't justified and he lost his job. So what he's saying here is, this is a continuation of stuff with Rebbe Marash. And again, the message simply is, that whatever's out there in the world, the train, the computer, or everything, we should know there's no two worlds. It's min ha'olam va'ad ha'olam. Our task it is to reveal godliness there by using everything that in Hashem's world and all of the discoveries and science in Avodas Hashem, and to make this world, or rather to unite heaven and earth and make it all one united world. That's the Avodah. And the story is telling us that if the world is resistant a little bit along the way, then you missed the boat, friend. You haven't realized why you're here. We're all here to be part of this great mission. And ultimately, therefore, we will be, and this world will become, as he says, the Dirle Yisbarach, the home for Hashem. Have a wonderful day, everybody.